Now we're gonna work on boy loop. So as I mentioned before, this robot is not that complicated. You're gonna move left and right with the sensors, left and right sensor, and with the middle one you're gonna shoot. So the first thing we're gonna have in our boy loop is we're gonna check our sensors to make sure to see what they see. So we make three variables: left sensor value, center sensor value, um, and right sensor value, and we call analog read with each of them um, to try to, and we save them there, and then we're gonna use those to check what the state, whether one of them is blocked or not. Next, we're gonna put our data writes. So every time in the beginning of the loop, so boy loop repeats over and over. Every time it starts in the beginning, it reads the sensors, and then it turns all of the LEDs off. The reason why we're doing this here is so that in each of the if statements, we don't have to write this over and over and over, since all of them are gonna do it anyway. So we're gonna have three if statements. We're gonna have one for when the right sensor gets triggered. So if there's something in front of the right sensor. We're gonna have one for when the left sensor is triggered, so else if. And then we're also gonna check when the center sensor is triggered. Right? In this case, we're not gonna have an else statement because we're stopping the motors within each if statement. And you'll see what I mean in a second. So the first one we're gonna so basically when we touch the right sensor, when we touch the right sensor, we wanna move the turret so it starts turning to the right. If we touch the left sensor, we wanna make the turret move to the left. In order to show us that we're touching that sensor, we're gonna turn on the lights on that side. So on the right side, we're gonna turn on 17 and 18, and then we're gonna do two things. Because DC motors don't stop moving completely when you let go. They're not servo, so they don't hold their position. We're gonna be moving in small increments. So we're gonna tell it to move. We're gonna tell it to move counterclockwise with speed. And then we're gonna delay, instead of delaying for a large amount of time, we're gonna delay for short bursts. So we're gonna make the board for 8 milliseconds. And then we're gonna tell the robot to stop. So in this case, we're telling it to stop instead of loose or something else. And the reason being is stop makes it so that the wheel, each pin is written to high. And what this does, it makes the wheel a little bit harder to turn. It's not impossible because it's not a complete brake. But for our case, it's good enough. And we're going to tell it to delay for a bit before going outside of the loop. 50 milliseconds is nothing really. Same with 8. So what this is going to be is basically we're giving little bursts to the motor so that it moves slowly and we can control more or less how fast the turret is turning. For the left side, for the left sensor, we're going to do something very similar. We're going to turn on different lights, 11 and 12, which are the leftmost, and we're going to turn just about the same way as the right side, except that instead of telling the robot to move counterclockwise, we're going to tell it to move clockwise. And with both of these, I'm messing with motor 1. So motor 1 is going to be the one that moves the turret left and right, and motor 2 is going to be the one that shoots. So when this happens, we're going to turn on our middle LEDs. Again, these are indicators more than anything. And then we're going to do two things. We're going to make the motor spin M2 so that it releases the rubber band. And we're going to play just a note to kind of show that it's shooting. So we're going to play C5 and E5. And then we're going to play basically an 8 note of each note. And then this one, since we want to make sure the wheel is able to turn a good amount and shoot the rubber band, we're gonna delay for fairly more than we've had for the previous statements. At this point, we're also gonna stop the wheel. We don't want it to just be loose, because then it's faster to just put stop. And again, we're gonna put a delay here as well. Now here, the delay is gonna be also fairly large, because we don't want to accidentally be triggering this too much. So if we put a larger delay, it take longer to exit, and it'll let us react a little bit better. So yeah, so that's your turret. So you move left and right with the right sensor, and when you touch the middle one, you shoot your rubber band. Thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and hope to see you next time. Goodbye.